Your mind has been given the power to shape your reality, deciding if you are sick or healthy, wealthy or unsatisfied, happy or unhappy. It acts as the storyteller, weaving falsehoods. It's devoid of real comprehension, because you haven't enriched it with true knowledge. Instead, you unconsciously feed it with increasing complexities. However, when you begin to acknowledge your true nature as the ultimate intelligence, something extraordinary happens. Your mind begins to relax its hold. It starts to fade away. Realize that your mind can be both an instrument and a source of problems. You have the ability to calm it, to make it powerless. Stop giving your mind the permission to control anything about you. In this existence, situations appear to develop, and we respond to our observations. Nevertheless, it's crucial to understand that we live in a world of contrasts. Everything is subject to change. Permanence is uncommon here. So how can we fully believe in what this world shows us? What can be genuinely relied upon? The solution is found within us. We can confide in the unquestionable reality of our own existence, ourselves. And when I utter self, I'm referring to the utmost dimension of our being, represented with a capital S. This self is not alien to us. It embodies us. There's no differentiation between you and yourself. There's solely the self, complete consciousness, and ultimate reality. Acknowledging this without the requirement for scrutiny or contrast, simply embracing, I am the ultimate reality as your personal truth. When I employ the term I am, I'm alluding to consciousness, the quintessence that is all-embracing. There's nothing beyond it. All those anxieties and trepidations you carry, they're baseless. They're exclusively the one, and you embody that. Why oppose this fact? Take a moment to reflect on what you presume is lacking in your existence. From where did these ideas originate? Was it upbringing or previous encounters? Possibly remnants from former lives? You may have convinced yourself that you are your physique, your thoughts, and this conviction leads to additional complexities as you associate with those problems. However, let me assert that you are fundamentally unadulterated. The past is eradicated. There's no remnant of former experiences. There's no such concept as sin. You're as pristine as freshly descended snow. Have you ever observed it? It's an expression with significance. You are immaculate. There's nothing impure about you. You are sacred. You are consciousness itself. Why do you resist accepting this? You've adopted the idea that you are a distinct individual. You've acknowledged an identity as a human, correlating with the body, and affixing labels like Carl, Julia, Jack, or Joe. Reflect on the fact that your name was designated at birth. But imagine this. What if your parents hadn't named you? What would your identity be then? Perhaps you select your own name, but comprehend this. You aren't your name. You aren't your physique. You aren't restricted to mere externalities. There exists a more profound aspect of yourself. The pain that mankind frequently undergoes arises from this conviction of being solely human, of perceiving themselves as isolated beings. Such a viewpoint gives rise to beliefs that others are attempting to influence you, engendering a competitive spirit against life and fellow creatures. Consequently, you engage in bizarre behaviors, endeavoring to outdo others, to outwit them. Nonetheless, let me reassure you, there's no need to participate in any of these activities. All that is necessary is to recognize your true essence, and freedom will ensue. Accept the reality that you are the ultimate intellect, the ultimate consciousness, that constitutes your essence. The past no longer dominates you. It never genuinely existed. It resembles a dream. The past has lost its ability to inflict damage. The future is merely a notion devoid of real presence. The only actuality is the present instant. This moment is consciousness, ultimate reality, self-sustained. Nothing lies beyond this. The mind's character is incessant agitation. It yearns for novelty, aspires to venture into unknown territories, pursues new horizons, and readily succumbs to ennui. The mind has a propensity to drift from one location to another, pursuing new associations, new environments. However, in truth, you could stay in a single location indefinitely and achieve total satisfaction. In actuality, you don't need to undertake any specific action to attain deep-seated joy. I'm addressing the mental domain here. Examine yourself, sustain mindfulness, but abstain from responding. Dissatisfaction emerges when you react to individuals, locations, or objects. Authentic freedom is attained when you stop responding to these external elements. Our predisposition for alteration is widespread, as though modifying our situation will bestow liberation. Some of us marry only to become disenchanted with matrimony within a few years, leading us to desire a transformation. We erroneously assume this alteration will yield joy, yet we frequently discover that it doesn't. Comprehend this. No external factor can truly deliver joy, except the realization of the self within. A frequent error many commit is obsessing over the future. They declare, "In the future I'll attain joy, perhaps when I'm wedded or divorced, when I secure a new position, or maybe when I resign and embrace a leisurely lifestyle." However, permit me to affirm this fact. Unless contentment is present within you now, it won't welcome you in the future. Every ideal state you desire, you must nurture it in the current moment. If serenity is your objective, you won't find it by escaping to another place or a different city. Genuine tranquility exists exactly where you stand. Indeed, tranquility is innate within you. It's an integral component of your essence, yet it's frequently mistaken as something external. Imagine someone who loathes their occupation. They might assume, "I'll relocate, people will be more amicable there. I don't mesh well with anyone here in New York." So they move to Chicago. At first, everything appears enhanced, a novel setting, renewed interactions. However, within 6 months, Chicago starts to mirror New York, the same challenges with distinct faces. The essence of the issue is this: you take yourself with you wherever you venture. There's no evasion from yourself. Don't be misled into thinking that others or a transformed environment will bestow happiness upon you. Although it might appear so initially, the reality is, no one else possesses the authority to render you joyful or impart peace except yourself. But how can you accomplish this? The route has been delineated by eminent wise individuals. The solution, once more, resides in calming the mind using any means available to you. It's vital to acknowledge that your true nature is sheer bliss and ultimate reality. The misunderstandings stem from the impressions embedded in your mind. Therefore, the preliminary action is to liberate yourself from these mental impressions. How does one initiate this? It commences by taking control of the mind. This signifies the inception, scrutinizing your apprehensions meticulously, observing the procession of thoughts traversing your mind. During this undertaking, you reveal the origin of these thoughts, progressively discerning who it is that conceives them. You transform into an observer of your mind's internal operations. This isn't merely about substituting negative thoughts with positive ones. Both negative and positive thoughts are dual facets of the same entity. They pertain to the domain of duality. Within every negative, there lies a positive counterpart, and vice versa. Your aspiration is to surpass this binary nature. This is not attained by controlling the mind, but by fostering tranquility and observing the mind. By becoming a gentle, relaxed observer of your mind's activities, regardless of the intensity of the negative mental imprints, regardless of the depth of your fears, and regardless of how valid you think your self-pity is due to life's deviations from your expectations, here lies the heart of the matter. Do not allow your mind to influence you. Otherwise, your mind will continuously lure you, asserting, "Examine your circumstances. You have every reason to feel despondent. Fear is warranted. Just observe the world's malevolence, the precarious state of affairs today." Moreover, your mind will probe into your private life, projecting alarming possibilities. Tomorrow could bring misfortune, financial collapse might occur, your partner could leave, your job might vanish. Such thoughts afflict everyone. You are not isolated in this experience. However, allow me to declare this. There is a method to surpass these ideas and accept your true self, if only you would decide to do so. Scrutinize your mind. Be an attentive observer of its operations. Approach your mind with discernment, understanding its character. Resist the temptation to be ensnared by its narratives. It is essential to remember that we are not attempting to substitute negative thoughts with positive ones. Your mind might sporadically endeavor to appease you, offering a few gratifying, yet unexpectedly, it might pull the rug from under you, rendering you disenchanted and dejected once more. Do not permit your mind to deceive you. Realize that as you meticulously monitor your mind, as you abstain from responding to its stories, its influence diminishes gradually. Thoughts become less common, less prominent as your mind debilitates. A corresponding surge in your contentment becomes apparent. This will serve as evidence for you. As you persist on this journey of attentiveness and observation, a day will come when you instinctively ask yourself, "Who am I?" This is not something you encounter in a book or something someone conveys to you. It arises spontaneously, a natural consequence of your diligent mind observation. Eventually, this inquiry will emerge spontaneously. One day, as you are intently examining your thoughts, an inner voice will pose the question from the core of your existence. Who am I? Am I merely my body? You contemplate deeply on these matters and the question surfaces effortlessly. Subsequently, another epiphany manifests. You begin to realize that every time you identify yourself as an infant, an adolescent, an adult, or a senior, the pronoun I endures. This observation holds a clue. I is perpetually present. I was an infant, I was an adolescent, I am an adult, I will age. This realization arises naturally. The inescapable reality is that one day death will be inevitable for us, yet our consistent reference to I endures. As we ready ourselves for sleep, we state, I am going to sleep. During dreams, we articulate, I dreamed. Upon awakening, we assert, I am awake, and gradually a sense of wonder germinates. Who is this I? Who am I fundamentally? This straightforward question produces remarkable results in your life, for concealed within your heart lies a response. One day, akin to a sudden flare of light followed by serenity, the answer will emerge. In that instant, you'll understand that you are the cosmos itself. You are the self, not an isolated being, but the omnipresent self. This awareness surpasses language. You'll acknowledge your nature as the ultimate reality, indescribable. You are pure affection, pure contentment. This insight surfaces spontaneously, without any exertion. This cannot be artificially brought into existence. Many have been endeavoring for years to induce self-realization, to liberate themselves from captivity. Regrettably, they've been searching externally, soliciting aid from the outside world. Yet the world can't offer support because it's a mirage, a fantasy. How could a fantasy genuinely assist you? It merely partakes in diversions. One might achieve a prestigious occupation, accumulate substantial wealth, and presume they've triumphed in life. But then suddenly ailment afflicts, and all the wealth and fellowship become pointless. Life plays these pranks on us. So, I beseech you not to pursue material possessions. Whatever you're meant to possess, whatever is preordained for you, will naturally materialize. I comprehend that this notion might be somewhat challenging to accept, but it is the irrefutable truth. There's a celestial blueprint for everything in this world. Every leaf, every insect, every animal, every mineral, every human. Everything is predestined, arranged for you. Therefore, you need not agonize over your life's trajectory. Abstain from squandering time chasing worldly matters, for eventually you'll have to relinquish them. Devote your time to uncovering your true essence by contemplating, who am I? Everything will align itself naturally. Your body will traverse where it's intended to, and realize its predestined purpose. However, bear in mind that this process is unrelated to you. Why? Because you are not your body. Allow your body to be the same cosmic force that cultivates mangoes on mango trees and produces apples on apple trees, that orchestrates the sunrise and sunset, that furnishes just the right temperature to support human existence. This power knows how to look after you. You need not interfere. Your responsibility is to leave yourself untouched and delve into the question, who am I?